Hello YouTube, I'm your host the Crimson Warrior, and today I'm bringing you my personal Blackwing profile. This is my absolute all-time favorite deck that I started back with in 2015 when I was playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And the Necroz and BA and Shadal meta, and this is the deck that I learned how to play Yu-Gi-Oh! With at real tournaments. And so let's get right into it. You start with the Triple Simoon. This is your extra 3 copies of Black Whirlwind, necessary for starting your day. Max, you need 3. Triple Oster. This is your complement with Simoon to get into full Armor Master instantly and gets your plays started. I run 3 because of the Desires in this deck. A lot of people run 2. If you're not going to run the Desires, that's fine. But this deck wants to start its day, and Desires gets you there. So on top of that, 3 Bora. No once per turn limit on his effects, and he is a necessary combo starter, so can't have him get banished off of Desires. Next up, Triple Steam the Cloak. This is for token abuse. This gets our plays going with Link Karibo and just gets our day started. And lastly, for the triples, Triple Harmatan. Harmatan and Oster are a 1-card or 2-card full Armor Master and just gets you into all kinds of plays. He also works with all of our level 3 tuners to get into 8-star monsters, which can be either Boral Savage Dragon or Beals or any of the Scarlight Dragon Archfiends if you're into that. Next up, we play 2 Gale. I like 2 Gale. I don't play 3 anymore though, just because deck space is getting super tight, and his effect is not as useful as it once was. Next up, we have 1 Zephyros, 1 Blizzard, and 1 Orochi, finishing the Blackwing package. And these guys are just for combo extending and getting your plays going. Zephyros will be a lot more useful once Y-Strix comes out, but we are still waiting to see when that gets released here in the TCG. So, next up, we have our full Phantom Knights package. 1 Ancient Cloak, 1 Silent Boots, 2 Fogblade, and the Shade Brigadane. This contributes to a lot of bricks, but is pretty necessary for us to have a good turn 1 play where we can end on a full Armor Master or 2, or a Scarlight Dragon Archfiend, and double Fogblade and just watch your opponent squirm, hopefully. That's about it for that package. Next up, Triple Black Whirlwind. Back in the day when once per turn wasn't a thing, or not so much of a thing as it is now, this gets our play started. Normal summons, searches weaker Blackwings, Simoon tutors this, it just gets our day going, and we need to see this. Simoon, Black Whirlwind, and any other Blackwing in hand, and you are going to end on some bonkers boards. Next up, we have Triple Allure of Darkness. We run all of Darks. We don't care about banishing because of Oster, and it gets our day started. Run 3 of Always in this deck. You need the draw power. Next up, I run Triple Pot of Desires. The problem with this deck is once we go through our plays, we have no hand. Normally 1 to 2 cards left. If this is what your 1 to 2 cards left, then you just got yourself a little bit more resources and you can keep extending. Don't play this before you play the Black Whirlwind. You can banish important 1-ofs like Orochi and important 2-ofs like Gale, and it's best to wait till after your combo to set these off, but sometimes you're forced. Next up, we are a combo deck, so there is Triple Called by the Grave. Staple, necessary, gets our plays going through, and on our opponent's turn can stop them from doing some pretty key plays. Next, for the 1-ofs, I play 1 the beginning of the end, for the same reason as Desires. After a typical turn 1 combo, this is live. I don't run any more than one because it's pretty win more, but the banishing resources doesn't matter for us, and just getting more cards back in our hand so we have plays after turn 1 is really important in this deck. Next up, Monster Reborn for combo extension, and Upstart Goblin just to run a 49 card deck. And that's it for the main deck. Now for our extra deck, we play Link Karibo. This is Token Abuse for our Steam. Double Wee Witch. You can play one if you don't go Link heavy a lot of the times. I notice myself going through my Wee Witches a lot, so I play the two. One Phantom Bardiche for our turn 1 setup double Fogblade and full Armor Master, and hope our opponent can't get through that. Just important for the Phantom Knights package. If you're not running it, you don't need this. Run Blackwings instead, because honestly the Blackwing count's so low in the extra deck now, like it's not even funny. One Evil Swarm Nightmare. Auto win against Salad if you can get it out turn 1. Just kind of stops them from playing and allows you to keep going, and after stealing their monster with full Armor Master, you're pretty set with this guy. After that, one copy of Evil Swarm Exoton Knight. One thing to keep in mind with this guy, he can't be summoned the turn you use Simoon, but you should never be in a position where you're using him with Simoon, basically. This is for late game, needing to catch back up if that happens. Next up, one Nathung, extra normal summon, burn damage in time. Just an awesome card in general. Used to be a 2 of and even a 3 of before Master Rule 3, but times have changed, and 1 of is all we can really get away with these days. I play one Hawk Joe. You can play 2 if you want. You have to be really good with your resource management in this deck. So if you feel yourself running behind on resources, or you're using Blackwing Synchros for your Link summonings, he is one of your best options to get them back, and having extra deck monsters not in extra deck zones, because from the graveyard it's not a proper summon. Raikiri for popping stuff. We don't like pendulums. We don't like back row. We want to clear it out of the way. Summon him with a whole bunch of Blackwings on fields into your extra monster zone. Activate his effect, pop 4, maybe 5, and then go off from there. Link it off into a Wee Witch, turn it into a Rusty Bardiche, and keep going. I play the one Armor Master for OTKs with Oster, and for the fact that some decks just can't out it. Like, you put full Armor Master on field, and if they don't have removal, game over. Plus, I often found myself with a 3 and a 4 just left over on board, and I don't want to go into my Raikiri, I don't want to go into Joe, so he's the generic, just leave this guy on board if I notice I have a 3 and a 4 left over. Next, Borreload Savage. We do Link Climb, we turn Wee Witch into Rusty Bardiche often, and Link Karibo into Wee Witch pretty frequently with our Steam the Cloak. So you can turn this guy into 1 to 2 negates most of the time, 3 negates late game if you're using your Rusty Bardiche, or you're linking it off turn 1 into another Wee Witch. But that's really suboptimal, and you kind of want to be just equipping a Wee Witch that you use to turn into Rusty Bardiche. Next up, we play the one of Beals. This is just for getting over things. Chaos Max Dragon sometimes is a problem for this deck if you can't steal it. So this is what I use to just get myself over it. No targeting. If they can't get their creature swap, it's over. So then I play the Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. You might think there's no way to summon this, but with both Beals and Borreload Savage, they can be materials, and Orochi is one of the easily searched Blackwings in deck. So I have no problem summoning it, and he's one of the best negates you can throw out. I used to run Crystal Wing before Master Rule 4, but now that Master Roll 4 is a thing, it is much harder to get extra deck monsters onto the field, and I just find this guy a lot easier to get into and do 9 stars rather than 10 stars, because it's a lot easier to get Orochi on field than it is to get Blizzard on field, for all of you who remembered Blizzard into Crystal Wing via your level 8 synchro plays back in the day when we could fill the whole board with synchro monsters, but that is long past. And then we play double full armor master. Double in case one gets solemn. Honestly, that's the only reason. He's our boss, he's our win con. He gets game, not as often as I'd like, but he's still the best card in the deck, and without him we would have no semblance of success like we do currently. I hate that Raid Raptors got one of these with 500 more attack. That made playing against them locals a couple weeks ago incredibly difficult. But yeah, this is my locals Blackwings profile, and I appreciate you guys for joining me.